and welcome to the End in Mind podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, the owner of Meraki Media Management. The End in Mind is a place where we come to share stories, tips, and strategies of many entrepreneurs, creatives, business owners, and just some people that aren't willing to live the traditional lifestyle. We talk about how to live outside of the box today and how to incorporate what really is important in your life to keep that end goal always in mind. Again, if you would like to reach out to me in any type of way, you can find me on Instagram at Meraki_media_management. And I hope to hear from you all soon. Thanks so much and enjoy our show. What is up, party people? Welcome back to the End in Mind podcast. This is back-to-back days of podcast recording of solo episodes for me, so hang on for the ride. I think I've said this to you guys before, but this part of my job is one of my favorite pieces. It's right up there with working with my clients. I love talking to you guys. I love talking, period. No, I'm just kidding. I do, obviously. I love talking with you. And when I think about these podcast topics and what we're going to share for the day, I really think about you guys, and myself, and what are we facing, right? What are the challenges at hand that keep coming back up for us? And today I was on the phone with my coach this morning. She is amazing, Aoife. She's a mind-body business coach. We're doing business coaching now together as well with the mind body. I just really love investing with her because she understands the way that I work, and she doesn't move me at a high, fast pace, because I am the type of person that if I don't go in with an intention, then my energy is leaking out all around me, right? And then I feel drained and I feel exhausted. So I have to start off with an intention to know where I'm headed, right? And the accountability with coaching, as well as the extra skills and knowledge she's been able to give me for the past, 8 or 9 months that we've been working together, have been completely life-changing for me. And they've also been life-changing for my clients. So whatever Aoife and I discuss that really hits home for me, I then come and share with you all, either through the podcast and little pieces of golden nuggets, or with my clients through actual practices that we then implement together. So that's really, the beauty of coaching, right? We really want to be able to learn from people that are ahead of us so that we can then pass that information to, our clients and continue to spread the knowledge and the wealth of, understanding our bodies and understanding how our bodies can impact our business. So that is today's topic. If you have been feeling like you have no energy, like you cannot freaking get it together, maybe you've been trying to get back to work, trying to get back on the horse, people might say, right? And, these past few years, we can't ignore. I think a lot of people don't want to talk about what happened in 2020, and, they don't want to look backwards. They only want us to look forwards. But the reality of this is that we have to acknowledge our past so that we can release it. So if you are, in that low vibe energy, hanging on to maybe some old COVID habits, don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay. I hear a lot of my clients beating up on themselves, like, I should be doing this, I should have more energy, I should, be able to do all of these things. But in reality, our bodies are literally not made to operate at the level that we were operating pre-2020. I remember when I entered into the workforce for the first time, and I literally thought it was a joke. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. Coming out of college, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, where in college you're in control of your schedule. You're scheduling your classes when you have energy in the day, and then you have, room to work out and study and, hang out with friends and really have a social life. So going from that type of lifestyle to then working in a 9 to 5 office where I was managed by mainly men that didn't understand, women and how we fluctuate, let's be honest. It was just not working. Like I actually thought it was comical that people thought that this was normal and that it was sustainable. I remember coming home and telling my mom, like, is this actually how people expect me to live the rest of my life? Like, I can't live or operate on this level. I was working for a nonprofit, so I was working all hours of the day, of the week, weekends, like you guys name it, I was working. And I was expected to be there, and I was expected to be there and be on it, like I literally had to be on it all the time because I was the fundraising facilitator. So I was literally getting money into the nonprofit so that I could pay myself and my team. So it was also a lot of stress, and it's also for a great cause, right? Pay myself, my team, and also pay for all of the amazing cancer patients that we were supporting through this nonprofit that really needed a lot of help, They weren't financially stable, and that's why this nonprofit was created. So it was very heavy, I'm like, I have to meet these goals. I have to work all the time. And just how I mentioned before, it's just not sustainable. And I knew that, like I said, the second that I tried it, that I couldn't do it. I was only in that job for 8 months, and I aged at least 5 years out of that situation. As being a highly sensitive, which I know you all really identify with on some levels, empath, highly sensitive, like we all tend to have the same symptoms or mindset, right? So as being a highly sensitive, I realized that I had to acknowledge that part of myself and that I maybe wasn't going to fit into the perfect square box that everybody wanted me to fit into my whole life. Like, that's just not me, right? And it's never been me. I've just been told my whole life who I was supposed to be. So once we started to unpack this, right, in your own lives through your own experiences. Maybe it was in corporate and you've been burnout after 20 years. Maybe it was similar to me where you only lasted a few months. Maybe it's happening to you right now because you feel like, damn, I can't even get it together to serve clients. Hello, I've totally been in your shoes. It's okay. The reason why we feel this way is because we have this leaky energy. And we're not going in with intention. So when I was working my 9 to 5, my energy was leaking out everywhere because I had no clue what my real goals were, what my tasks were, right? And I joined an early on nonprofit team that was not used to having people at my level that they had to train. So this was a real feeling. It was real emotions that helped me change my life. So if you are feeling this heavy resistance around something, like you're really, it's like pulling teeth. And even when you're doing it, right, when you're actually acting out the work, whatever that might be, maybe speaking, maybe teaching, maybe, coaching, right? And the act of it, you are still actively not enjoying. That's something that we need to look at. That's something within your intuition, within your body that is speaking to you, right? That's not just a one-time emotion where you had one bad day at work. This is like repetitive emotions that you're having on a daily basis. Now your intuition is talking. So these are the signs that we need to stop ignoring. And these are the signs that could potentially hurt us and hurt our health in the future. I saw my dad literally die because of his job. Like, I know that that's so harsh, you guys, but that is true. He hated his job. I mean, every day it was some other BS pissed off story. And there was this emotional roller coaster. And we as entrepreneurs are on that track, right? That's literally what our lives are. So going in with intention and knowing the end goal, that end in mind, that is to keep us grounded, right? So that is supposed to keep us on that beaten track, on that happy medium, not up and down, right? We really just want a neutral. So if you are at that low energy state, don't focus on getting back to being perfect or getting back to being the way that you were before 2020 hit, because that's not realistic. All we need to do is get you back to neutral so that you can actually start to listen to your body, listen to yourself, listen to your intuition, and trust yourself again. Because when we're operating at that lower vibration where we're drained, we have no energy, it's hard to get out of bed, it's hard to open our eyes, we are now feeding off of a lower frequency. So there's no way that we're going to be able to take that frequency and amplify it unless we are actively in that neutral state, right? Where we have the space, energy, time to actually listen to our bodies. So when we're operating at that lower frequency, our brains are chaos, right? We're constantly looking for the next thing to go wrong. So that's why your goal should be the neutral state. It doesn't mean that you're like in that, I know you guys will resonate with this, like sometimes when you walk outside and you're just in nature and you feel that rush of the wind and it's almost like you're literally having life breathed into you and you're elated to even be outside and feel things and take in the breath. Like coming from a low vibe place, you're probably not going to get all the way there, right? In an hour time. So that's why the neutral space is where we can just find appreciation again. And then we can take that further, right? Where we're really having those exciting, elated emotions. But that neutral is really where we want to hang out and we want to live most of our lives. So I challenge you, if you're in that low vibe, low frequency place, look at where you're expending your energy. And then ask yourself where you want to be spending your energy. A lot of us actually really want to be spending our energy with our family, doing things that we love, walking, reading. Maybe we love to paint. Maybe we love to watch TV. Maybe we love to listen to podcasts. And, the lower frequency is when we're forced or we feel forced, I'm using air quotes, to do something that we don't actively really want to be doing, right? We feel imprisoned. We feel like we're literally being robbed of our freedom. When I was in my job, that is exactly how I felt. I felt like my life was doomed if I kept on that track. So it's okay, right? That's the greatest thing about where we are spiritually, that we know that we have the power to change this now. So as you start to look at, right, once you're back in neutral, because you won't be able to do this when you're on the lower frequency. So your first goal on the lower frequency is get back to neutral. Once you get back to neutral, then you can start to look at, where was I expending my energy where it didn't need to be expanded? A lot of the times I was expending energy on a situation. This is going back so long ago now. I lost my dad 11 years ago. But when he would come in from work, like pissed off and upset and angry and needed to talk about it all, like that was sucking a lot of energy. Damn, like love him dearly, RIP literally. But like, we can't be expending our energy when we are entrepreneurs and we're showing up for our clients, we're showing up for our families, right? And there were moments in my life where I just had to not be around that, right? I literally had to remove myself from that because I had to then get up and go to school the next day, right? And me as a highly sensitive is heavily impacted from situations like that. So once I started to realize, okay, this is where, and this I did realize at a young age, I'll be honest with you guys. A lot of this would even happen, when I moved into my new house. Like, moving out of my mom's house was huge for me. We were so close. We are so close, but we were so close, like literally in the space, like living on top of each other, that I needed the space to be able to create, to be able to have downtime, to figure out who I am without all of this stuff, right? Without everybody else, just who I am alone. And like I said, your family will still need your energy, but you're able to give your energy in different ways once you're able to see what's sucking your energy. So another thing that would suck my energy is thoughts, right? Those thought loops that you guys hear me talk about a lot, those patterns that feel like they're never ending, or they come back up even though you feel like you might have unpacked it in therapy last week. It still is sticking with you. Girl, I get you. Literally, I'm like, I so get you. It's not your fault that these thought patterns are happening. This is a societal thing. This is something that's been trained in us since we were young on how we need to, better ourselves, because we're so bad for saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, right? We almost have to beat up on ourselves so it doesn't happen again, right? All these thought processes that we've created over the years. It's not true. It's not true. You don't have to put yourself through those thoughts. You don't have to continue to give your energy to past situations that really aren't even you anymore. If you guys are listening to this podcast, you've changed. You have changed already by just digesting this information and taking it and doing it with what you will, right? You have changed your way of thinking. You have worked on your personal development, and acknowledge that, right? Take advantage of that. Acknowledge that you have done this for yourself, and you can continue to do this on your own or with the help of me, if that feels aligned for you. If you guys ever want to chat, I'm always here. We do still have my coffee chat link below in the bio. Like if you're really struggling, or even if you're not really struggling and you just want to talk through energy expenses, it's a free 30-minute coffee chat. So I am happy to sip some coffee or tea or whatever you love to drink and just talk through some of this, because we can't always see this, right? We can't always see these thought processes. Like I remember when I was first in therapy and we were talking about how much my relationships, I was giving so much energy, right? Unnecessary energy, amounts of energy to that the people that I was in these relationships with didn't even expect that, right? Like I was over giving because of my self-esteem, right? Or some other things that might have been going on that I feel like I'm making up for it, right? So that's something that is expending energy. And the more we look at, okay, that didn't feel good after the fact, that's what else is a great telling. So look for these areas in your life where you're feeling that dread, that unhappiness feeling. And like I said, sometimes leading up to things, we build it up in our heads, right? So if you're hating going into it, let's say speaking, for example, when you're about to get on stage, right? Or about to get on the Zoom where you're sharing your knowledge, or even networking can be like a form of speaking, right? And it's coming up to you and you have to give your speech. And you're so nervous, your palms are sweating and your brain is moving in like a million different directions. You're all lit up and you're so worried, right? But then you do it and you feel great after. See, that's a moment where you're expending energy in a way that you should be, right? Because of how you feel after. It's kind of similar to working out or moving your body, right? It's that same similar type of dopamine effect, right? Your body's telling you that this feels good. Versus when you do something that maybe doesn't feel good after. Like for me, it's always after I get in a fight with Sean. And I'm like, damn, I really wish I didn't say that. That sucks that I said that. That sucks that I acted like that. And then I'll beat up on myself about it, right? For freaking hours later. It doesn't happen as much frequently anymore, but that's expending energy, right? When I've already apologized, right? I need to move on from the situation. I don't need to stand over it and cry about it more and dread on it and, draw out the long process. I just got to move on, right? That energy doesn't need to go there. Now that I've apologized, I've taken ownership of whatever I did, right? Now it's time to move on and redirect my energy where it needs to be, which may be in our business, which may be with our family, which may be with our puppies, which may be just to ourselves. Maybe you really just need to give energy to yourself and stop giving it to everyone else all the time. That's the key to becoming more energetic in your business, really being able to look at these places of your life. So, like I said, if you are, wanting some support around this is what I talk about with my clients, especially in the first few months of us working together. This is a really important piece of what we do. So if you're feeling called to, book that coffee chat. I want to connect. I want to get to know you guys. It's really not a salesy situation. It's just a place for us to unpack things together, and hopefully you can take something away from it. And if we end up working together, great. But if not, and I may be able to offer you something else, like another person or maybe a journal prompt, that is what I will do. Just know that is what I will do, and I will hold this space for you guys. So I love you all so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you guys next week for another guest podcast episode. I'm really excited about this one. It is going to be a 2-parter. Stay tuned for all the deets coming on that episode, and on my Instagram, of course, we're constantly sharing more information about what to expect on our upcoming shows, so be sure to reach out to me there as well if you just want to DM together at Meraki, MERAKI_media_management. It's all linked below as well. So love you guys. See you next week. Thank you so much for listening to The End in Mind. I would like to remind you all, if you haven't yet reached out to me on Instagram, we are at Meraki_media_management. It will be in our show notes as well. If you would like to reach out to me, we always offer free coaching through Instagram based around our Instagram training and our business Instagram practices. If you need any type of support, please do not hesitate to reach out to me there. And we also offer several different types of consulting and training packages if you're looking for a little bit more in-depth tips. So thank you all for listening in. And of course, I want you all to keep the end in mind as you continue with your day and or work week. Have a great week, and I will see you all next time.